What's up?
Here I am in Woodwood, PA, one of the sites of the infamous door rush of 2016. Me and my team have researched and found people who have personally experienced this. And let's hear from them now.
I was 9 or 10, maybe, when I went through the door. I was in 5th grade. It was the end of 3rd period, and we had just been released to go to lunch, and we were all grabbing our lunches from our lockers. And I just remember walking to the lunchroom after just getting my lunch bag when we heard the first shots.
I was probably about 3 months, 4 months old when my dad left home. We went through a door, actually. One opened up in the basement of our home. And I was too young to remember, but he told me these stories about how he tried to barricade it off so people wouldn't get in. He said if they got in, it'd be bad news for us. And so eventually they broke down the barricade and got into the rest of our house, and we had to get out of there. And, we ran through this was back when the doors were just opening up, and we ran through a door. Ended up in the displaced persons camp over in Vegas. We lived there for a while, I remember that, and then we took the doors just before they closed over to a small town in Kentucky. And once we got there, the government.
No one follows protocols when there's an actual emergency. No one goes to classrooms to get locked in. When you hear gunshots, everyone just starts panicking and running, and there was a moment of silence, of just, we heard the shot, and everything went still for a second, and then the halls were filled with just children running.
Speaking of government, let me tell you, they're trying to take away my guns. They're trying to take away my money, my taxes. They're making me pay. Make me pay for other people's education. It's unfair, it's unright, it's not what the founders would have wanted for us. Speaking of which, you look like you need some of this in your life.
Back to the doors. Once you found yourself in the Vegas camp, what happened then? Tell me about.
I learned the real truth. The American truth.
I remember following my classmates and running with them. I ran to a stairwell. My school was set up, you could only go up the stairs, or there was this kindergarten class room, and I just ran into the classroom. I didn't know what to do. Okay. I just ran into the classroom. I didn't really know what to do. And when I got out, I was face first into concrete steps. I fell into steps, and I just remember pushing myself up from the concrete. Just someone looking at me. She was so concerned. I mean, I was 10, just ran out of, now that I think about it, like a basement door. I just ran out of the basement door, fell face first into the steps, and this lady just came over and just started asking me these questions, and I had no idea what she was saying. She took me to the police station. I had no clue what they were saying. They were all speaking in Italian. I never left the country. I never left the States. I had no clue what they were saying. It took a couple hours for them to find someone to come and ask me questions in English. And yeah, I was stuck in Lucca, Italy for a week before they found a door that could get me back to the States, back to the East Coast specifically. I remember calling my parents telling them where I was, how I ended up there, and where I was going to be. The new door led to somewhere in the Outer Banks in North Carolina. So I went through after a week, and it took another couple hours for my parents to come down and pick me up. Those were the longest. Those last hours where I was in North Carolina, those were the worst, because I was home. I was closer to home than I had been for a week, and I just had to wait for my parents to drive on down to get me. I didn't want to use the doors. I didn't want to end up in Italy. I didn't want to leave, but I had to, because it was either end up in another country or become a name on a shirt outside some church.
We're gonna go back and sit down.
Sorry for my prior output.
They were speaking Italian. I had no clue what they were saying.